Chapter 1: The Bond of Four. In a quiet town nestled among rolling green hills, there was a school known for its beautiful campus and close-knit community. Among the students, stood out not for their academic achievements or athletic prowess but for their extraordinary friendship. Alex, Maya, Ethan, and Sophia, for teenagers from different backgrounds, with different strengths, but who shared an unbreakable bond. Their friendship began in the first year of high school, a time when many students were still trying to find their place. Alex, Maya, Ethan, and Sophia had all met by chance, seated together in their homeroom. At first, they were just classmates, exchanging polite greetings and working on occasional group projects. But as time went on, they realized that they complemented each other in ways that made their lives richer. Alex was the dreamer. With an artistic soul, she was always sketching, painting, or designing something. Her imagination seemed limitless, and her mind was always whirring with new ideas. Her creativity wasn't just limited to art, though she had a knack for thinking outside the box in almost any situation, often coming up with unique solutions to problems the others couldn't see. Whenever the group needed a fresh perspective, they turned to Alex, who would inspire them to look at things differently. Maya, on the other hand, was the academic powerhouse of the group. She was intelligent, quick-witted, and always eager to learn. But it wasn't just her sharp mind that made her special, it was her empathy. Maya had a gift for sensing when someone was feeling down or overwhelmed, and she would go out of her way to help them, whether it was explaining a difficult math concept or just lending an ear when someone needed to vent. Her compassion made her the emotional anchor of the group, and they all relied on her when they felt lost or confused. Ethan was the joker, the life of the party. He had a natural sense of humor and could lighten even the most serious situations with a well-timed joke or a playful prank. His laughter was infectious, and his carefree attitude reminded the others not to take life too seriously. Even when things seemed stressful, Ethan could always find a way to make them laugh, keeping their spirits high when they needed it most. While his jokes sometimes got him into trouble, his heart was always in the right place, and his friends adored him for it. And then there was Sophia, the quiet but wise one. She wasn't as talkative as the others, preferring to observe and listen before offering her thoughts. But when she did speak, it was with a calmness and clarity that often took the others by surprise. Sophia had a way of seeing the bigger picture, of understanding the underlying emotions and motivations behind people's actions. She could mediate arguments, offer thoughtful advice, and remind her friends of the importance of patience and kindness. Her presence brought a sense of peace to the group, and they often turned to her when they needed guidance. As they moved through their first year of high school together, the bond between the four friends grew stronger. They studied together, ate lunch together, hung out at each other's houses on weekends, and shared their dreams and fears. They supported each other in everything, from preparing for exams to dealing with personal challenges. No matter what life threw at them, they faced it as a team. It was this teamwork that made them stand out when their school announced a team project competition during their second year. The competition was designed to encourage creativity, collaboration, and innovation, with teens tasked to come up with an original idea and present it to the school. For Alex, Maya, Ethan, and Sophia, this seemed like the perfect opportunity to work together and showcase their unique talents. They were all excited as they gathered in the school library to brainstorm. Alex, as usual, led the way with her boundless imagination. "What if we created something that could help the environment?" she suggested. "Like a robot that plants trees automatically. It could make a huge difference in reforestation efforts." The others were immediately on board. Maya loved the idea of contributing to a larger cause, Ethan thought it sounded fun and challenging, and Sophia saw the potential impact it could have on the world. They quickly divided tasks among themselves. Alex would handle the design and concept, Maya would work on the research and theoretical aspects, Ethan would manage the technical side of building the robot, and Sophia would focus on organizing their ideas and preparing the presentation. At first, everything went smoothly. The group met regularly after school, excitedly working on their project. Alex sketched out intricate designs for the robot, while Maya researched eco-friendly materials and innovative technologies. Ethan, with his technical skills, started assembling parts and figuring out how to make the robot function, and Sophia, as always, kept everyone on track with her calm demeanor and organized notes. But as the deadline for the competition drew nearer, things started to get more difficult. The pressure of the looming presentation weighed heavily on the group, especially Ethan, who was struggling to bring the robot to life. While the others were making progress with their parts of the project, Ethan found himself stuck. No matter how hard he tried, the robot's mechanics weren't working the way they were supposed to, and he couldn't figure out why. At first, Ethan kept his frustration to himself, not wanting to worry his friends. But as days passed and the problem remained unsolved, he became more and more agitated. The easygoing humor he was known for started to disappear, replaced by stress and self-doubt. One afternoon, as they sat in Maya's living room working on the project, Ethan finally snapped. "Why am I the only one struggling with this?" he blurted out, his voice tinged with frustration. "Everyone else seems to know what they're doing, but I can't get this stupid thing to work. Maybe I'm just not smart enough for this." The room fell silent. Alex, Maya, and Sophia exchanged uncertain glances, unsure of how to respond. Ethan had always been the cheerful one, the friend who kept them laughing and motivated. Seeing him so upset was jarring, and they didn't know how to help. Maya, who was already feeling the pressure herself, reacted defensively. "We're all working hard, Ethan," she said, her tone sharper than she intended. "We don't have time for complaints right now. We need to finish this." Her words only made things worse. Ethan stood up abruptly, his frustration boiling over. "You don't get it," he muttered, grabbing his bag. "I'm out of here." Without another word, he walked out of the house, leaving the others in stunned silence. For the first time, the group that had always been so united felt divided. The tension in the air was palpable, and no one knew what to say. They had always relied on each other, but now, in this moment of stress and frustration, their friendship felt fragile. As the sun set outside Maya's window, casting long shadows across the room, the three remaining friends sat quietly, each lost in their own thoughts. The weight of their project, and the potential loss of their friend, hung heavily over them. They knew they had to figure out a way to fix both the robot and their friendship, but in that moment, they weren't sure how. Chapter 2: The Power of Unity. That night, as the moonlight poured through her bedroom window, Alex lay wide awake, her mind racing. She couldn't stop thinking about the argument earlier that day, and how easily the bond between her and her friends had been shaken. The friendship that had once felt so unbreakable now seemed fragile under the pressure of the project. They had faced challenges before, but never had the group fractured like this. Alex replayed Ethan's words in her head, the frustration, the self-doubt, the anger. She knew that what had happened wasn't just about the project, but about something deeper. Ethan had felt overwhelmed, and they hadn't been there for him the way they should have been. As Alex tossed and turned, she realized that they had been so focused on winning the competition that they had lost sight of what was really important, their friendship. It wasn't about whether the robot worked or not, or whether they won first place. It was about being there for each other, through thick and thin, just as they always had. That was the real strength of their group, their ability to support one another, even when things got tough. The next morning, determined to make things right, Alex sent a message to the group, "Meet me at the oak tree after school. We need to talk." The oak tree had always been their special spot, a place where they went to escape the stresses of school and life. It was a massive tree, its branches spreading wide and providing shade to the grassy patch beneath it. They had spent countless afternoons there, talking about their dreams, sharing their problems, and laughing until their sides hurt. It was the place where their friendship had been forged, and Alex hoped that it could be the place where they mended the cracks that had formed. That afternoon, as the bell rang to signal the end of the school day, Alex made her way to the tree. She sat on the ground beneath its sprawling branches, waiting for the others to arrive. One by one, her friends showed up, first Maya, then Sophia, and finally Ethan. The atmosphere was tense at first, with everyone unsure of what to say, but Alex knew that they needed to address what had happened head-on. "Guys," Alex began, her voice soft but steady, "we've always been there for each other. We've been through so much together, and we can't let a project come between us. We need to be honest about how we're feeling, and we need to support each other, especially when things get hard." Sophia, who had been quietly watching, nodded in agreement. "Alex is right," she said, her voice calm and soothing as always. "Friendship isn't about agreeing all the time. It's about standing by each other when things get tough. We're going to face challenges, and sometimes we're going to argue. But what matters is that we don't let those moments tear us apart." Ethan, who had been sitting a little apart from the group, looked down at the ground, clearly feeling ashamed of his outburst the day before. After a long moment, he finally spoke. "I'm sorry," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I didn't mean to make things harder. I didn't know how to handle feeling like I couldn't keep up with you guys. I've never felt so stuck before, and I guess I took it out on you." Maya, who had been frustrated the previous day, softened at Ethan's words. She moved closer to him and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Ethan, we're all learning," she said, her voice full of warmth. "No one expects you to have all the answers. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, and that's why we're a team. Instead of blaming each other or ourselves, let's help each other. We've always been better together." Alex smiled, feeling a sense of relief wash over her as she watched her friends come together again. The tension that had filled the air began to dissipate, replaced by the familiar comfort of their bond. "We've always been able to lean on each other," Alex said, her eyes shining with sincerity. "And that's what we need to do now. If one of us is struggling, we all are. That's what makes us strong." With the air cleared and their hearts lighter, the group fell back into their natural rhythm. They spent the rest of the afternoon talking and laughing beneath the oak tree, just as they had so many times before. But this time, something was different. Their friendship, though tested, had come out stronger on the other side. They had learned that it wasn't about never fighting or never facing challenges. It was about how they handled those moments when they did arise, with honesty, understanding, and, most importantly, love. As the afternoon sun began to set, casting a warm golden glow over the school grounds, the four friends made a pact. They would face the challenges of the project together, helping one another through the difficulties. Ethan, with Maya's help, would work on the technical issues that had been plaguing him. Alex and Sophia, meanwhile, would focus on adding creative touches to the project and ensuring that their presentation was polished and engaging. They dove back into the project with renewed energy, but this time, they approached it differently. They worked as a true team, each one supporting the others and sharing their strengths. They stayed up late into the night, brainstorming ideas, laughing over their mistakes, and leaning on each other when they felt tired or frustrated. The robot that had once seemed impossible to complete slowly began to take shape, and their excitement grew with each new breakthrough. By the time the day of the presentation arrived, the group was nervous but confident. They had spent weeks working tirelessly, and their robot was finally ready. But more than that, they knew that no matter what happened, they had already won something far more important. They had reaffirmed their friendship. When they stepped onto the stage to present their project, they did so as a united team. Alex introduced their concept with her usual flair, explaining the design and creative process behind the robot. Maya provided the scientific background, detailing the research they had done on eco-friendly materials and the potential environmental impact of their invention. Ethan, with newfound confidence, explained the technical aspects of how the robot functioned, while Sophia, with her calm presence, tied everything together in a thoughtful and engaging conclusion. As they finished their presentation, the auditorium erupted in applause. The judges were impressed not only by the innovative nature of their project but also by the way the group had worked together so seamlessly. When the winners were announced, Alex, Maya, Ethan, and Sophia were thrilled to hear their names called. They had won first prize. But as they stood on the stage, holding the trophy, the true victory wasn't the award in their hands. It was the lesson they had learned and the bond they had strengthened. They had realized that their friendship was their greatest strength, far more valuable than any competition or prize. Walking off the stage hand in hand, the four friends knew that their bond was stronger than ever. They had faced challenges, arguments, and doubts, but in the end, they had come out on the other side, united, resilient, and filled with a deeper understanding of what it meant to be true friends. Their friendship, built on trust, support, and love, was unbreakable. They knew that no matter what life threw at them, they would always have each other to lean on, and that was worth more than any trophy or accolade. As they walked together under the shade of the oak tree one last time, they smiled, knowing that their greatest achievement wasn't the project or the prize, but the enduring strength of their friendship.